Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today? It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. I was going to say bright and early, but it's 10 o'clock already, so at least here for us.
Yes. Yeah.
So today we have a few things to chat about, and then Susan's going to craft with you a little
Yes.
something unexpected, I think.
Yeah, outside my
Outside
box.
of your box, which I think is fun to do sometimes.
Yeah.
I needed to encourage you a little bit that
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's fun.
I think you're gonna have you always have great tips about, even if it's not something you do all the time, you think about like, how can I make this better?
Yeah.
Or the first time I did this was a fail. And
I didn't
now-
like it, and I
Yeah.
have that for you today. Yes, true story.
Yes. So I think that's fun for all of us to keep evolving and doing things. I know I gotta be pulled out of my shell sometimes.
Yes.
My blending box, I'll call it.
I know.
Because
Today I was
love
like,
to blend
I'm not blending anything.
anything.
Did you
That's
blend
unusual.
anything Monday?
Don't think
You
so.
colored, you
I
did.
colored.
Well, people are going to
Yeah.
wonder what we're doing.
Yes.
What we're up to.
Well, this week is all about kind of leading up to our birthday celebration. So we're celebrating our 16th anniversary. We call it a birthday, but we celebrate it each year with a big birthday themed release. And so that is coming up next week. And this week is the lead in to that. It was Labor Day here on
To the
Monday.
big Sweet
and
16.
Yes.
So exciting. You can drive now. T can drive now.
T can drive. That'd be scary. Just prop the building up, put it on a bunch of wheels, and here we go.
People might actually like that. Actually, they're kind of wondering that should happen.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad, except when you consider the size of the building that would be moving around town.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see who's here today and say hello, and then I'm going to let you get to the project fun.
Yay.
Good morning. We have Heather here today, and Deb, and we have
Look at all that.
Marilyn and Deneen. And
I'm
Mary,
with Darren. Or
Betty.
I can't read.
Deneen.
Deneen. I can't read. I need my glasses on.
It's
Deneen.
Chiefs game
It's
day.
I'm just happy for football.
You're excited for football
Yeah.
season.
It's not
I
my
know.
teams tonight, but I'm excited.
You're still watching.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Oh.
100%.
Fun. I don't watch football, but it's volleyball season, so
Yay, you.
I watch volleyball.
You watch a lot of
Yes.
volleyball with your
Yes.
daughter? Yes. You do.
Oh, Jennifer says it is bright and early, 7 a.m. in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
So welcome from Alaska. Glad you're here. All right. Well, like I said, we're leading into our birthday celebration. So stick around to the end if you want to see a little bit of tea spilled. If you're new here and you don't know what that means, there's kind of the common phrase that you spill the tea, you kind of dish the dirt, so to say.
Yeah.
And so Susan will be kind of giving you a first
I am
look.
ready. I'm
You're ready with your
today.
tea?
I am.
Okay, well, we won't have to rush in and remind you at the end. You haven't spilled the tea yet.
No.
I'm sure everyone will remind you when you
Well,
get
we
there.
got out of the habit in July because we didn't have a lot
You
of
didn't-
releases,
yes.
and then I'm like, gotta get back on board now.
Yes.
It's like summer vacation. I gotta get back into the swing of things.
But in the project you're creating today, everybody kind of keep an eye on our fan page if you haven't been there checking things out. It's on Facebook, Fans of Tailored Expressions. And every month we launch a new challenge. You can enter to win. We give away, I think, 4 gift cards.
Yeah.
To people who participate. It's not based on how amazing your project is, just that you
random.
followed
Yep.
along with the prompt. And this month it happens to be gift cards, creating packaging for gift cards. And it's our birthday month, so that's kind of
What's
perfect.
better on a birthday than a gift card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids appreciate that. I think
Oh, my kids too.
they gave me both my girls, they have September and October birthdays, and they've
Did they
already
give
made
you
their
a
lists. Yep.
Are they all
and
gift cards?
Most of them. There were 6 different gift card ideas on there, and then like a dog that was on Charlie's. I was like, we're not getting a dog.
That's so cute.
I mean, I don't know. It's just not in the cards for our family. We always say, we're not getting a dog, we have a Henry. And that just makes life difficult enough to
Yeah.
not also need a dog. So she's just so adamant every birthday and Christmas. And so
I have a
one
niece
of these
that's
days.
that way. It's dog or cat on every list I get
Every-
from her, and I'm like, I've already discussed with your mother.
Right.
You're not getting
this
it.
isn't happening.
Yeah.
I think that's how my older girls realize there is no oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about that.
We're not talking
the
about
Christmas thing that, they would ask year after year and never get one, and they figured out why. So, oh, all right.
Get out our new puppy on Saturday. Someone else is getting a new puppy.
You're getting a new puppy,
Wendy.
That's so great. Enjoy. I hear, I've never had a puppy before, but I hear it's like introducing a newborn into your family, like letting them out all the time and waking up in the night. Yeah, so
I love other
wishes.
people. Yeah, I love other people that have puppies. I like to go visit. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, Susan, I'm going to let you take over from here and show off your fun projects with your little unexpected technique.
Yes.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. This is what we're going to work on today. So I'm going to combine the whole tag idea, the gift card idea, all the birthday, and sort of making a tag gift card product that we sell into a card at the same time. So I was going to talk today about this pretty package. It came out for Christmas, I believe. That's probably why it's in kind of a Christmas tone, if I remember correctly, when it originally released. It is all this amazing stuff in one package, and it's part of our tag collection that we featured this month. But you have the actual pocket, you have the insert, you have this cute notch thing. We do sell this separately, but this is where it originally lived, is the little notch for a gift card. I should have grabbed a gift card. If Taylor or Whitney want to bring me one, I can show you how it fits in there just perfectly. But I feel like you could use it for a gift card. You can use it just as a tag. You can also use it as kind of what I did, is made it more into a card. So I wanted to talk about that. And something that I don't do, because I don't consider myself a stitcher, is I have started to fall in love with stitching on cardstock. I love the felt, and I've done the felt a lot in the past, but I have been sending a lot of cards with the stitching on it, but using cardstock. And I've just kind of started to think it's pretty cool. I know if you guys go back to past Facebook Lives, Taylor did a snowflake quad where she stitched where the holes were not there, and it was so cool. And I was like, we need to do this more. I need to do this more, because I can do a basic stitch. I can handle that. I am definitely not experts like Heather and Lori are with stitching, but I've been having fun just with your basic stitch and cardstock, because I have taken pieces that I've pre-die cut, and all I have to take with me is the thread and a needle. I do, and I'll show you, I like to have a little bit of tape to hold my thread down. So anyway, it's just kind of an easy thing to take along. I know I have a project I'm working on tonight while I'm watching football. My team is not playing tonight, but I just love football. I like the strategy. I like watching football. So I'm glad it's back. I know my heart has been very happy for this to come. I kept saying to my husband this week, 2 more sleeps to football, 1 more sleep to football. So this morning he said, no more sleeps to football. And I was like, that's my line, but he got it. He understands. So I'm going to walk you through how all the parts and pieces to this one and this die set quick, just because in the packaging it looks very nice. So that's the way you would receive it. The way we have it here at the offices, we have it on 2 different panels, but there's a lot of very cool parts and pieces. So this is the insert part that goes in the holder, whether you want it to be a gift card holder or a card holder or whatever you want to do with it, if you want to make it into more of a tag. And this is the notch that's in there, and you can die cut this whichever way you would like. I normally do it like that, and then I put the gift card going this way. These pieces, these 2 rectangular pieces, are so that you can make your gift card holder, as it is, into more of a present. I've seen it done where it's a little label at the top. I've seen it done where it's more of a T, and then of course you can add the additional tag to hang off the side. I kind of used it in a little bit different way today, and hopefully that's okay. I feel like it's such a versatile set to have and to use around your stamp room. And then on the end, I'm going to talk through this little thing that I obviously do not have fully assembled, but I wanted to be able to talk to you about it when we're done. So I'm just going to untie this just so we have this. I just wanted to show you This is a bag that I think I got it at the end of the year. It was a Christmas bag, but I figured it's just craft in gold. I use it. I bought a whole bunch of them. Actually, I got them at TJ Maxx. I think they were a set of 4. I love them. Just craft with some gold highlights on it. But this is what it looks like, and that's what we're gonna make. I made it into more of a card that you can tie onto your gift. So again, this is where your gift card notch would go in, but I thought it was fun just to take one of our insiders and make it into a birthday card that you can tie onto a package. Then you can write your sentiment on the back or on the bottom, wherever you would like. So I want to walk you through a little bit of the pieces. So this is the main carrier or envelope to this project. So I'm gonna grab some cardstock. Here at TE this morning, something that launched that you might have missed, because you're gonna wonder about the scissors I'm gonna grab here in a second, are these new Fiskars scissors. I am in love. I've been using the smaller one around the office for a couple of weeks now before we got them in, and I just love them. I love how sharp the blade is. It's a titanium blade, so that's always nice. It doesn't stick to things like your adhesives and stuff is bad then. I'm told this is a left or right scissors. This one is just a right one, but just in case you need to know that, this one is a left or right. And I'm also told that this scissors goes all the way down to the point and it'll cut all the way to the end. I have been using it for our DMC floss just because it's so sharp. It's so nice. This is I've been using just the white. I don't know if it has a specific name, but just a white DMC floss for my projects this week. And I've been using that for cutting, but I've also been using this when I just need a piece of cardstock cut. So I have a piece of confetti cake that we're gonna cut the main base of this out, and actually don't really need to cut much. I might just cut the extra of this off so that we can salvage that for a project later. And then this is confetti cake, and the darker teal is tropical punch, which is also one of my favorite colors. I love the two together. I know you guys are not surprised by this, right? I'm gonna cut one of the presents out of this because if you noticed, I kind of doubled it. That's a personal option if that's something that you like. Completely up to you. I just liked the extra pop of color. So here at TE, I try to save all my extra pieces. You never know when I'm gonna need it. And I would cut a confetti cake again, but that I've already cut that one. I just die cut to save us time. But I really love these. But I know we all have scissors. If you're in the need for new scissors, these are very nice. And they just launched today. If you go under new and then go down to tools and supplies, both of these are in there. Again, very sharp. I've been very happy with how sharp they are. And then I really like the point on this one. So I've used the cutter bee for a long time. I don't know about you, but mine are getting worn out. The hinge here is getting a little worn and loose on mine. So I could use and benefit from a new one of these. So if you're in the market or need a new scissors, go look for that. I'm gonna grab the die cut machine and bring that in quick so we can cut these two pieces. All right, first we'll send through the insert part. Run that through. I'm gonna cut this one apart. I could have used just a portion of the cardstock as to not waste, but I also wanna show you how that gift card piece can be attached in there. You could have done it all at the same time. That you could lay this in here, put some tape on it, keep it in place. You could do it all at the same time. I just didn't do that. So let me grab this. Just kind of wanted to show you in case you would rather use it as a gift card. I'm gonna go this way. Most of your gift cards kind of run horizontal, but it depends. Some are more vertical. I don't know. I think it would stick out a little bit. So I usually choose to go horizontal with it. And this little piece, if you have that, is so nice. You can take it to anything you want. But we'll tape that on there, run that through. Like I said, I'm gonna be cutting this off. So I just wanted to show you that little feature that's in that set. So then that's where your gift card would slide, is right in there and then into your little pocket. So last but not least, we need our pocket. So let me run this through. I don't know, do you guys have this one? Have you used it for Christmas before? But I think it's really cute for birthday. My mom is always asking me for gift card holders because that's basically what she gives to a lot of the grandkids every year. Once kids get past, I think like 10, gift cards are pretty popular. I think what Cynthia is saying is that she likes the gold blades. I agree on these scissors. Aren't they just pretty? I think I could use another big one too. I was told they're multimedia also. So if you do like cutting felts, or I'm going to use it later for cutting our fun foil, it'll cut all those different things. It's got a nice titanium blade to it. So I'm not going to go too far with my die cut machine because we will need this back here in a minute. Throw that out. I do really love working on my glass board because I do like to glue this together and use my magnets to hold it. You could use like a score tape, one of the heavy score tapes. I just really have, now that I have found a glue that I love, which look what Whitney brought me this morning, because I know if you guys watch my lives, you know I've been running out of my Bearly Arts glue. I just need to assemble this yet. So today I'm sneaking and grabbing Taylor's Just Press tool, which I like this one too. I like them both. I love Nuvo, the Nuvo glue. That's what got me back into the world of using glue. Because for the longest time, I shied away from liquid glue just because I hated it so much. So if you're at all worried about your glue like seeping out, something that I also do is, these are the backers to these, to your strips, your easy foam strips. If you put that in there, if your glue happens to squish out at all, it will release. So if you have a piece or one, that will help keep any of your glue from squishing into your project. Again, it's normally just garbage, but something that I do because I don't want to glue my whole pocket together. So again, this is what goes in your pocket. I just thought it's really cute to kind of offset that. So let me show you with this one. I put, and this is another thing that's new on the website today, is I punched a hole in the corner of this so I could tie it onto my package. Being as we've never had a hole punch available through TE, we brought one in, and this is the Fiskars 1/8. I've been using this one forever and ever. So if you need to get one, if you don't have one, or if you've gotten rid of it, misplaced it, whatever, it's a little bit smaller than a hole punch for like paper, like what your normal office hole punch would be. This one's a little smaller. It's 1/8. So it's exactly what that shows. It's a good universal for getting ribbon through and things like that. So, and that's how, if you were to just put your gift card in there, that's how that would go. And you could always sign your name on the back, but it's just nice to have that in there and as a part of the pretty package. So we'll set that aside for a second. The other thing that I did ahead of time was I pre-cut a piece of cardstock, and as I was showing Taylor my project, she pointed out how much wider these loops of this, so I did a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. I bumped it a little bit, and this piece of cardstock is 3 7/8 by 3. Let me make sure I say that right. Yep. So I know it's 3 7/8 by 3. It gives it a little bit more chunky of a border all the way around. So let's move this out of the way. Move my fun little scissors. Move this up while it's drying. And I am going to use the free with purchase, the $100 free with purchase. I know Taylor used these the other day. I might try this one because I know she used this one already. I like them both. I'm going to line this up. I am going to follow those dots. I can find some points on this just to make sure my center is right where I want it. And I think I want to go this way instead of the other way, just the way the heart's going to land. I just like that a little bit better than going this way. Those are a little taller. Both look good, but I think I like the long way a little bit better. So again, I'm going to find some points on here just so everything's lined up well. I love that we did embossing folders for our freebie. It's been a while, and I am in love. Always have been in love with embossing folders. I think it's an inexpensive little add-on to your projects. Easy, quick, easy. So this is a 3D one. This one I used the more burst one on the original project that I did. So let me bring my embossing or my die cut machine back in. And I think Taylor went over this the other day, but you do need one of our mats to use our 3D embossing folders. And I like to use the Sizzix Big Shot. This is what I use at home too. Take all the parts off down to your main base platform. You want to, this machine is still has a pretty good tension, so I only use the thicker of the two mats that come in there. And I love that we now have a 6x6 now that a lot of our 3D embossing folders are 6x6. So you put your standard platform down for the Big Shot. You put for this machine, at least for ours, the thicker of the 6x6 mat, and then whichever cutting plate you have. So you've got your embossing folder with your cardstock in it, and always put the hinge going in first. You could always take a baby wipe or something to wipe the back. Oops. Is this machine different than our other machine? Maybe I do need my mat. I guess I do. Sorry. Let's start again. Our other machine over there, it's connected, so forgive me. You do need that thin adapter mat. I apologize. But you definitely need this to make it work. You definitely need the squishy mat. Because if you try to put it through with two of these, it won't go. So this, I hope I did that right. I feel like this machine is a little bit different than the one I use on the other side of the office. So that gives you your impression, and I'm gonna take our sugar cube. I believe Taylor did this on Monday. It's just one of my favorite things. Just take your sugar cube, ink pad, and I just like to run it on there. Now, if you have a brayer, even better, because you'll have way more control. But I just take the top of the ink pad, and this works really well with anything, but especially our pigment ink pads. They're just softer on the surface to be able to just run them over the top. So that gives you that one as compared to what you see with the other one. So these are both our $100 with purchase embossing folders. Isn't that fun that you get two for your $100 purchase? Let me wipe just in case I got a little bit of that sugar cube. But I believe Taylor showed that same thing on Monday. I just thought it was the cutest way to add just a little bit more dimension to that background. So let's grab this back. It should be dry now. This, again, if any leaked out, being that is a non-stick surface, it won't matter. Your removable backer. So like even if you have, I've said this before, like stamp backing, like your postage stamps backing or an Avery label sheet, any of those will work to do that. So let's grab that. I've already misplaced my little packages. So this one, again, would work for your, if you wanted a gift card, but I just want, and I'm gonna take the scissors and just cut off this bow because I wanna layer it behind, kind of offset that. So I want it off of this square, and I can save this cardstock for another project. And you can offset it. I tried white. I just really liked bringing in more of that tropical punch, and I just want to offset it just a little bit. So I'm just going to put a little glue there. And then the next part, I'm going to use my Minx. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on just so I'm ready to go when it heats up. So set that behind and then just offset it a little bit. And that will be our, I'm calling it more of a card tag. So it's a tag, but I feel like you get to put your sentiment and gives you a place to sign. So I'll set that while that's drying. And then I thought it would be fun to put one of the insiders in there. And the cool part is we have the insiders birthday wishes. We have the horizontal and the vertical. And I wanted to cut them down so that they would fit. So this one actually came out of the horizontal, because that's what I could find in the office. We were out of the vertical. So let me grab this. I want this one. I just thought that one was very universal. The wishing you lots of happy. And the layout is, I mean, the actual spacing of the words is the same on the vertical versus the horizontal. So if you happen to be working on a project and you only have the horizontal, you need to just cut it down. The spacing and the wording, the sizing is all the same. So I took, just because I do love using our A2 layer stacklets, I took the third one down, and it fits really well inside this. So I thought it was nice that I could line it up and decide exactly how far up or down I want this. So I'm going to end up cutting it. I'm going to scooch it down just a little bit more. There we go. That way I can tape it in place, and I will have to cut the top piece off, but that gives me that spacing that I want. So this is the A2 layers stacklets, the additions. So additional A2 layer stacklets, and that just gave me a straight side. If you wanted, and gave me the ability to center how I wanted it, so I could center it left to right. Otherwise, what you want to do is cut off, I think I did an eighth and an eighth, and then just got my spacing top to bottom the way I wanted it. But I always love that, having my edges look like they've been die cut. So grab my machine again, and I apologize. The other machine here in the office, this doesn't detach. So just make sure you take away one of the cutting plates and use your mat. Otherwise, two of your cutting plates will not work, but use your 6x6 mat to do the embossing folder. Got to put everything back though to run this through. And then I will just use a pencil mark to know where I want to cut that off. So let me move that aside. So let me show you. This way it works really well to fit in there left to right. I just like that extra bit. It's a little bit more than what a quarter would have given me. Cutting off a quarter gives me more than that eighth on my edges. Matches this a little bit better. So, and I'm gonna go and take this just so I can continue. I could just take my trimmer and cut it off, but I do also love being able to line this up, flip it over, and I can run that back through my die cut machine. I'll tape it and double check before I run it through. Again, I could make just a pencil mark and run it through and die cut it, but, or sorry, trim it. I do want to come down just a little bit more. Just the finished look of a die. I think my original one, that's what I did. I just took it to the trimmer and cut it. But this works too. Tape that down, and then we will run that through the Mink because I heard it beep, so we're ready to go. Bring this back in. That cuts the top piece for me. Toss that out. All right, I think I'm done with my die cut machine. All right. I am going to, being as I use the tape to hold that in place, I do want to run a Swiffer over this just to make sure I don't have any sticky residue left over from the tape that I was holding that in place. So I always do this when it comes to my foilets. So let's put that on there. I'm going to take this. This is our fun foil. This is the Cookie Monster. I figured it was the best that really went with the Tropical Punch and the confetti cake. Sorry, I might have missed something, and I apologize about my sandwich. So just make sure you take one of your cutting plates away and use the mat. These scissors are so nice for cutting the foil. I love it. So again, this is the Cookie Monster foil. I'm gonna cut it down to size just so I don't waste. And then I also sometimes do the back side of my foil too. We will lay the dull side down onto our insiders. Our insiders are also toner printed, so that works with our fun foil then. So even though it's not called a foilet, it's our insiders, it's also toner printed. So again, the black side against the dull side of the foil, and we will put it in our carrier sheet with the shim on the bottom. This is one of our TE shims. Put that in, run this through our Minc. Okay, and that'll give me a second to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, are they not 3D? That's why it's not working. They're 2D. Sorry. You are correct. I feel bad. Sorry about that. That would explain why it wasn't so thick. I would have sworn they were 3D and that I used the matte the other day. So I guess I made it my own sandwich. So if they're only 2D, they work for both. You can use it as you normally would. Charlie's correcting me. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for catching that. I don't own my own yet, I guess, but I know I used the matte the other day. I'm gonna let that cool a little bit. We can turn our Minc off. That makes a lot of sense. They are 2D. I can tell now. I apologize. Yes, they are 2D. You don't need the foam or the matte. All right. Let's pull this out. Sorry for my boo-boo. It still worked. You just don't need all the extra stuff. You can just set it up as you normally would. So that's how that would fit in there. Let me grab a little bit of adhesive, whatever your favorite is. Glue that on. And then by now, also that white sugar cube ink that we smushed on here should be dry. So let that dry for a second. And then take our pocket, and you can choose whichever side you would like. I chose to pick the one it's actually where the back got adhered to. We'll glue that together. Look at me trying to make life more complicated, right? We've been doing so much 3D lately, I just got it in my head. I even remember the other day when I used it, I used the matte that I thought I needed. Glue that in place. Let that dry for a second. And then I did punch with this new 1/8 inch circle punch. I did punch a hole in the corner because that way I can tie it onto my present. This I thought also just makes a cute card if you wanted to give this as just a card. You could always throw it in another envelope too, but I did punch. I didn't punch through this because I didn't want them both attached. So I just punched a little bit of that 1/8 inch up in the corner. Just picked the corner. And I am going through enough cardstock as it is, to be honest with you. I found it because I'm going through the folded piece. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So that was enough, I felt like, to get through. Figured one more layer might be a bit much. So again, this is also in our tagging category. I use this all the time. I love our, just having a basic twine in my house. This is what I use most of the time instead of ribbon. It's just easier. I can grab it. It went well with the craft bag that I had chosen. And then I just tuck this in by kind of scooching that thread over and putting it in. And then this way you can just tie it onto your present. So the next big thing that we need to talk about is these little hearts that I did. Like I said, I'm not a huge needlepoint person or cross stitch or any of that. I actually did have to go and Google. There's needlepoint, there's cross stitch, and there's embroidery. All totally different things. When I was younger, I did the cross stitch, so I understood that. So I understand just kind of basic stitching. But lately I've been doing more of the stitching on paper not as much on the felt. So I was going to show you how I did this, and this is my one that I feel like is my boo-boo. It's fine, but do you see how my stitches just don't look like they fall in line? And I figured out what I was doing. I'm sure all of you that are stitchers out there already know this and understand what I did wrong. And I probably am still not doing everything perfect, but for me this worked if you're a novice like I am. So I have just some regular white DMC floss, and I start from the bottom up. So I took our Get Thready hearts. This is the die set that I was using. And I already did this one. I cut this one out of confetti cake and did the stitches. I just thought I would show you how I did the smaller one, as to not bore all of you or those that are people that do any of the needlepoint work. I just thought I would do the smaller one to show you what I did wrong or what I didn't like about my first project. I do take just a little bit of glue, little spot of glue, put it on the back of my project, and then I just take the smallest little piece of Scotch tape just to hold it in place so I don't have to deal with the wet glue, and so I know it's secure, ready to go. I have just used tape before, but I have, if I pulled too hard, you can pull it out. I just like the glue as my extra reinforcement, so I just put down a spot of glue and a little piece of tape over the top of that. And then I go down. I am a person that works left around my project. I don't know why, so forgive me if you're a right directional person. So went down the next one, I skip one and come up the next one, and the biggest thing that kept my stitches like kind of running straight was I scooched my thread to the side so that I could put my thread down, and I kept that all the way around. So I scooched the thread that was sitting there to the inside of my project, to the inside of the heart. Does that make sense? It really makes my stitches land much more symmetrical all the way around. I know this isn't a circle or anything, but it just really helped with that uneven look that I got on this first one. Can you really see this right here, how much this one is bumped in? This makes just a much more perfect looking stitch. So I came up, I skipped one, came up one, and I make sure that my threads in the back and on the top are scooched to the inside of my project. So right now it isn't as apparent. When I get down the straight part of this, straight of the heart, you'll really see it. I love that I'm doing this without any glasses on. Not really sure why. So up, skip one, come up, and then I can go back. But do you see how I kind of take my finger, and right now you can see the thread? I scooch it to the inside of my project. So I'm not going through the thread that's on the back, and my thread that I'm putting through is landing to the outside of that. I'll flip it over here after I do one more. Does that make sense? Look how even the back of this looks compared to this one. It also makes for a pretty stitch on the back if you're doing a project where you'll see both sides, but just like this one a lot better. But I'm sure there's plenty of you that are stitchers and probably know what I'm doing correctly or not, but this gets me, the novice that I am, a nice stitch around my heart. And like I said, if it's a project where you see both sides, I used all the strands. I was happy with the strands. The TE holes that are made in the dies, I was good with. I actually tried stripping it down to 3, and I thought it kind of looked naked, but it does make it a little more dimensional on the top and the back if you're worried about mailing. So yeah, if you would like to take them apart, for my cross stitch days, I remember doing that. Taking your threads, because there's 5, you can take them down to 2 or 3, absolutely. I did not, and this is the way that I did like having it, but I'm sure there's rhyme or reasons to that. And again, I am very novice about this, but just my little tip of trying to make my stitches look nice and go in a direction. I know when I did cross stitch, you were supposed to go back and you didn't tie knots. You went back and made your thread weave underneath of other pieces. But when it comes to smaller projects like this, I thought the spot of glue worked really well to keep it in place. And the little bit of tape is there just because it helps me to be able to move on and be done with my project. So there you go. And again, I will repeat the same thing, and I just went through the thread. I don't like that. So let me run back through here. But to finish it, I want it to come out the bottom, so I'm going to weave it through, if that makes sense. I'm going to put it underneath just so I can do my spot of glue and end it right there. And again, I love these little gold scissors. I, of course, moved mine out of the way. These new little Fiskars scissors are so nice. They get right in there and you can get a nice cut. I don't know about you, but those might be my new don't cut with anything sticky, just so I can have them for my needle point or cross stitch or whatever. I guess there's probably is there a proper name for stitching on paper other than what I'm calling it? I know it's not cross stitch because I'm not using a fabric panel, but there you go. And it does add some dimension. I feel like the back is even pretty too. It almost kind of looks braided. So I have already added some foam tape to the back. Oh, I did it on the other project. I'm going to use foam tape on the back of both of these. I gotta look. Yep, this is my good one. I found the 1/8 inch was really nice for popping up underneath. So again, going to just put a little bit of foam tape on the back of these to hold them in place. Cut a little bit off of this one. Just helps give that thread a little bit of space so that it doesn't bump or doesn't, like if you would adhere it down, you're going to have that little bit of space that you need in the back for your thread. So normally I'm the person that grabs that 1/32. I really like this one. Let's grab that. I'm going to scooch my project down just so I can make sure this is straight in here. At least left to right straight. There we go. And then again, let's put a little bit of foam behind the smaller heart. Embroidery. Is that what I'm doing? Is that what we call it, Arlene? I hate stitching, April says. I agree. Thanks for thinking you might try, April. I haven't really gotten into the whole trend where you do a lot of stitching on your card front, but something small like this. I did a similar project with these thready hearts for a friend that I sent a card to, and I just thought it was that little bit more of extra touch of saying that I had done something a little bit extra, a little bit more special. But again, I'm not doing anything crazy fancy, and I find I've gotten away with white for the most part. I go through a lot of white in my house. I do have some of my favorites. I know on Pinterest right now we have, if you scroll down through our Pinterest, I don't know what you would call it, like our board, the TE board, we have Vicky in our office that gave us the color matches to all of our cardstock. So I did pick my favorite, and I've gotten the one that matches confetti and guava and pink champagne and cupcake and tropical punch and stuff like that. I've gotten just some of my basics, but a lot of times I do use a lot of white. So let me scooch this one in, and then I'm going to show you the last little project that I started the other day. And I might use my die cut machine to emboss one more time just so I don't have you guys all screwed up on the fact that I thought it was 3D. So let's grab this. I did these ahead of time. So with the Get Thready hearts, you also have just a heart that you can die cut that shape that matches these. This one you could go to town and have all kinds of different You can put your cross stitch, you could do something a little different. I wanted to double these up, but this one kind of gives you a little bit more freedom. There are lots of projects under the Get Thready Hearts on our website with felt. So if you're into felt, there's lots of fun projects. But this heart here already cuts the little tag part out for you, so that it's called Get Thready Heart Tags, and this is the tag part of it. So it gives you that heart. And I thought you could either do it I'm going to go ahead and put the heart on here, but I'm going to double it up so I can put a sentiment in here. So I already did this one is the guava one. And again, you can see I scooched that thread every time I went back through to the center, so that it kind of gave that pretty braided look in the back. I just really like it. I know when I did cross stitch, a family member would always flip over my cross stitch and look on the back, because that tells you something about your pattern or how well you did or something. So they would always flip it over. So when I flip this over, it makes my heart happy that it looks nice. Isn't that funny? But again, I used that same dimensional 1x3 tape, kind of cut down. Put that on there, and then I did the heart. I already put some tape, foam tape on the back of that one, just to kind of pop that up a little bit. And then I thought I could just you can just do one. This would be very pretty on top of there. You could always tie a bow too. But I thought I would go like that, and I could take some of this wonderful twine that TE sells, along with my awesome new scissors that are not sticky yet. Isn't that great? And tie it onto a gift bag. So I thought I had this one in my stash at home. I don't even know where it came from. Let me peek. It is not marked. I just thought it was really cute, and it went really well with the heart. I think these might have come out around Valentine's Day time, but I don't think there's anything that says Valentine's about them. So you can take it and tie it onto your gift. And I did a double layer again so that you could write your little sentiment in the inside of there. Tie my bow. Obviously cannot talk while I tie a bow, right? I use too much. I don't like when I waste my thread, right? But that way I can have a double layer and write my sentiment on the inside of there. So isn't that fun? Again, novice on the stitching part, and obviously on the embossing folders. So these are 2D, and now that you guys have said it, I get it. I don't know what I was thinking. But again, you can put your cardstock in, and then your machine is set up. If you're using the Big Shot, you'll take it down to the standard platform, and on the standard platform it says you use both your cutting plates. You don't need the mat. You need the mat for the 3D, not the 2D. And I do always put my embossing folders through with the folded side first, or the hinge as you would call it first. I've done that for years. I have seen embossing folders crack if you don't do that, but there's your basic 2D. So I apologize. I have been functioning with it seriously in the office incorrectly since last week. So I guess I should read the packaging, huh? So are you guys ready for tea? And now that we're done, I want to make sure I didn't miss any of the projects or questions. Awesome. I think, are you ready? So next week is our birthday kickoff. I'm super excited about it. I make a lot of birthday cards, and these happen to be mine. But are you ready? Here we go. Till next week. Quick pause and an exit. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you look up that tag collection. There's plenty of things for birthday, and start getting in the mood for our birthday release.